Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10. We've done 10 of these.
Of the double digit, yes!
Yeah, we will have done 10 of these at the time that this has been, that this is over. If you are watching the video that I put up afterwards of this, we have done 10 episodes.
We've done 10. I'm saying that's from the future right now.
Currently in the middle of number 10, and I am so excited to introduce the wonderful actor, playwright, director, wonderful human being. And if I forgot anything, they're going to have a chance to add that. Please welcome Mika Kauffman.
Hi.
So the first thing I ask is I introduced you, but I like to have people go a little bit further into that. Specifically, what I ask is, what are your pronouns, even though they're right there on the screen? It's an important question. And what words do you use to describe yourself? And if you want to throw anything else in while you're answering those two questions, go for it.
Okay, great. I'm Mika. Hi. I use they, he pronouns. I've been telling everyone that I meet recently, like, just mix it up. I love a good little mix of it. Words to describe myself. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I like to laugh. I am basically just like vulnerable as fuck. Very analytical and very self-aware, even when I'm dissociating. I also more practical job-like terms. Yes, director. Yes, writer. I'm a book writer and lyricist. I also compose. I'm also a dramaturg, and I am very, 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 very passionate about dramaturgy, which nobody knows what it is at all, but it's so much fun. And I'm also a producer, actor, just multi-hyphenate creator. It's a good time. I like to do a lot of things.
Yeah. So, second question that I ask everyone on this show, and I know you have answers to it. We all do, but I'm excited to know what gives you gender euphoria.
Boom. My chest hair. This has been like, okay, quarantine, the pandemic, round 2, here comes Delta, has been obviously horrifying for many reasons. It's also been, it's also been I don't want to say a blessing, but that's the first word that's coming to my mind, in the sense that I feel like a lot of folks like myself have had more room to discover more things about my gender / non-gender. That gives me a lot of euphoria. I started HRT like a few months before the pandemic hit. And so I've been steadily growing, check this out, facial hair. There and there, and chest hair, and just hair everywhere. There's so much hair, and I love it. And that mixed with my makeup, mixed with just having fun and like dyeing my hair, and also buzzing my hair and figuring out, hey, I'm actually kind of good at that, I guess. I've come to like wearing dresses again, so that's been fun. I just don't like the cinch at the waist. I like the flowy dresses. I've also come to really like tank tops. Also, the progression of my voice has been really fun, and just exploring different songs that I would never have sung otherwise, or I would sing them, but now I'm comfortable and in a different range. Yeah, and just really, really listening to my body. That's been like the biggest theme for 2021 and 2020, and we're almost at 2022. Man, yeah.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna ask this. It's not on my list, but I want to know what songs do you like to sing?
Oh my gosh, I have
And I mean,
definitely.
and you know what? Like, I'm not even talking about like on stage. Like, you can give me that, but I'm just like, what? You're alone. What are you singing?
So I have been listening to Inside by Bo Burnham on repeat over and over and over and over again. Specifically the song All Eyes on Me. Um, that I just love it so much. It sits so comfortably in my voice where I'm just like, get your fucking hands up, get on out of your seat, all eyes on me, all eyes on me. Like it just feels like waves. And it's so good, especially as like a neurodivergent person too. I'm like, ooh, chills everywhere from my own fucking voice.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I've also been like revisiting Rent songs. I played Maureen twice. And now I'm like belting out Rogers tunes. But what I love to do, especially, you know, that like 90s inflection, and especially what the actor does in the original Broadway show, where it's like one song, glory. Like it's just very gritty and funny. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've been exploring a lot of Broadway show tunes, but also Inside has kind of taken over my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and this next question is related to that. I was gonna ask it later, but it connects so well to that one. What is and you can take it as like a dream role, but it's more like what is a type of show that you haven't gotten a chance to be involved in,
Mhm.
that you'd like to sink your teeth in. But if you want to go like with like a dream, like a role, specific role, do that too.
See, the first thing that comes to mind is actually a role that I semi kind of got to do
Mhm.
very recently. It was a reading. It wasn't like a fully staged performance, but I got to fill the role of this character named Jamie, who is just basically me.
Okay.
In this one web series episodic reading. And the character is non-binary, the character is trans masc, and also the character is a drag queen. So I got to put on a wig. I got to put on like all these sheer sexy black clothes, and I got to just strut around the stage, two stage directions. It wasn't like a full musical moment, but and that just gave me so much euphoria. And and I write these characters, but I haven't been in a situation yet where I have filled a role that I have felt totally comfortable in, because I've done like the trans token character before,
Mhm.
and that was not fun. But this was fun. It was really fun, and it's also a very good friend of mine who I'm consulting with too. So it was. I just got to be me
Yeah.
and live
Yeah.
my best Gaga dreams. That was
Nice.
fun.
Nice. So this next question, um, next few questions are getting into stuff that you have done or are doing, about to do. Would you like to tell people about Maxa?
Yeah. So this musical is called Maxa, the maddest woman in the world. It's now been in development for the past 4 years, maybe going on 5. And it's an electronic horror musical, and I'm the book writer and the lyricist of it.
Mhm.
And it's all about Paula Maxa, who was the famed French tragedian in the 1920s in Paris, France. And she was wildly known all across Europe for her scream. And she performed at the Grand Guignol, which was a horror theater playhouse. And was just so exciting because they would pull off the most gory, magnificent stunts of all time on stage, and just fooled the entire city of Paris into thinking like, oh, Paula Max is actually dead. So she died on that stage like over 10,000 times. Her story is also so tragic and so beautiful, and it's about a survivor. And I relate to her in so many different ways. But she had this extremely traumatic event happen in her younger years. And so she started using horror as a means of healing, and was playing the victim every single night because she, in this tragic event that happened, never had an opportunity to scream. So this is her way of like releasing and just screaming and letting it out every single night. And as we know, that obviously takes a toll on a person if you have to relive your trauma, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
every night. So, and then it's just about, her coping with that, and the many steps we take in order to even start our journey to healing, and just and also accepting our trauma and becoming friends with our trauma in that way, and continuing to carry it with us for the rest of our lives. It's ingrained in our bodies. So I love our story. We did a music video in the middle of the pandemic last October 2020, and it was so fun, and it was all also horrifying at the same time because nobody knew what was going on still really with the
Yeah.
pandemic. But we achieved that, and I am so fucking proud of it. And also, it was predominantly queer and trans, and it made my heart so happy. And now we had a workshop last spring at University of Minnesota Duluth, and we were supposed to have a fully staged production, obviously pandemic. But that has given us the opportunity, literally the past year and a half, to really work on the show.
Yeah.
And now it's going to have its world stage premiere in Duluth at the university right around Halloween time. So
Cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I have I believe two other projects to ask about. But what about Back to the Shore? I'm interested in this.
So this was a project that I started writing that was actually written. It was originally written to just be a 30-minute opera. It's
Okay.
called Back to the Shore, a Jersey Short opera. And I'm working with my composer, TJ, my friend, and we are just revisiting it. We wrote it back in 2018. And then, a lot of shit happened because it starts in the distant, not so distant future where I'm going to say his name, President Trump, is like the overlord of the swamp, the literal swamp that is DC. Like, it's very dystopian and scary. And all the scientists have gathered, and they're like, we need to send someone back in time to the Jersey Shore, because the Jersey Shore is the reality show, is the reason why it gave Donald Trump the platform to become like the supreme overlord. So it's about sending Malia and Obama back in time and joining the cast of the Jersey Shore. And it's just like this comical, like scary, horrifying sci-fi opera. We have songs like Gotta Stay Fresh to Death and Shit in a Bush. It's a good time.
Can I hear a few parts of shit in the book? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's actually, it's like the title of the song is actually what, oh god, it's called The Gifts of Imperfection, in parentheses, shit in a bush.
Okay.
I feel like working on that at the same time as Maxa is just like, here's this extremely dramatic and like vulnerable thing that I'm doing that's terrifying. Here is this very absurd, strange, weird, funny, horrifying thing that I'm also working on.
Yeah, and is 10 days the other one? I'm making sure I'm reading my handwriting. I'm just like 10 days.
I'm directing a show called 10 Days in a Madhouse, and it's about Nellie Bly, who went to the Octagon on Roosevelt Island for 10 whole days. And it's about her surviving that time and really assisting the women who were there. So that was another one that was set to have its off-Broadway premiere. Pandemic happened. So we're hoping to do it in the spring of 2022. That's the goal. Just I'm doing a lot of horror things, which I love.
Yeah. Same. What's your favorite horror movie? I'll ask that. If you can't pick one, that's fine. Just give me a few.
Oh goodness, Cabin in the Woods is a great one.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of the horror movie classics. For some reason, Freddy versus Jason just popped into my head.
Classic. When I think classic,
like classic. Like I probably could not watch that now, because just even thinking of it, it's like, oh, it's so sexist. Oh, it's so like all these cringe things about it. Nightmare on Elm Street. But I'm talking, I forget which number it is. Maybe it's the second one, but it's the one that's really gay.
That's the second one.
I haven't watched it in a while, but I just remember watching it and being like, that's gay. That's gay. It's gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of gory horror movies and psychological horror. I cannot do haunted dolls.
Same. I'm out.
That's the one thing that's like, no, thanks. I know, because I don't want to look at some inanimate object in my room and be like, I wonder if it's alive.
Yeah. I had a friend ask me, like, what did you think of the Annabelle movies? And my response was, I'd rather not.
I didn't see it.
I'd rather not think about the Annabelle movies.
I didn't see it, so nope.
Yep. So now we're gonna start getting into the fun stuff. I hope it's. I mean, I assume you've had fun with all of this so far.
Yes.
But let's see. You know what? I'm gonna start with this one. Because I feel like I know you're ready for this one too. What cis nonsense are you sick of? Now that's how I ask the question.
Yeah.
But there's also nonsense from other trans people, and like, so I mean nonsense, but specifically cis nonsense.
I have a story, but my first impulse is to say all of it.
Yeah.
But very specifically, because this happened 2 days ago. I was working, I'm a brand ambassador too. That's my other job. And I was working an event for DoorDash, and it was really cool because they're now celebrating that they are selling alcohol through the app. So we, as brand ambassadors, we're just situated in like lower Manhattan, just giving away alcohol for free on the street. It was totally legal. I don't know, but it was through DoorDash. And
sounds like a great idea.
Truly, in the financial district. But there's this
God's work.
Yeah. Everyone.
Okay.
There was this one cis man who went into the event. He was coming out of the event, and I was situated on like the exit side of it. So as people were leaving, I just still want to engage them and be like, hey, like, what drink did you get? How is it? Do you like it? And he talked about, he got the Manhattan Mule because it was a masculine drink. And I am so tired of cis people equating objects, items, things, drinks as being like masculine or feminine, because he obviously he didn't want the apple whatever like champagne drink, which was delicious, because that's obviously like fruity, but he needed the masculine drink like that. So that was one thing that I stood there and was like, uh-huh. And then I just turned away to my coworker and was like, like, get them. Okay, bye. Yeah, the genderizing of it all.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something I'm very over.
So let's see. I'm interested in having this conversation with you, and I as someone who knows nothing, but I'm very interested in this. What um I don't know if the question is tips, but like what tips do you have for getting into makeup for people who don't fit the mainstream like community around that?
Yeah,
Um you know, I figure two genderqueer trans people can figure
yeah.
this out.
I love that question so much. Okay, hold on one second. Because
Oh, I'm in it, folks.
okay. So I recommend going to your local pharmacy because actually I get most of my makeup from a pharmacy. And just starting with like a very general palette, like something like this. Like I'm a person who loves like browns and neutral colors. It's called True Naked Cover Girl. And just sort of dabbling with eyeshadow is one of the best ways that you can start with just starting to shape your face and to really let your eyes pop and to yeah just sort of discover like the colors that really work for your eyes. So I'm gonna take my glasses off and everything. So like just starting with a lighter color on the bottom and then shading, you'll find that it's actually so easy to do. You don't have to use brushes. I primarily use my fingers. So I would just like dip it into the palette and then just like put it on and start feeling with my finger because I feel like that's one of the best ways that you can get to know your face and its features and the things that start to spark that gender euphoria is just like feeling your face and feeling the crease and just discovering like how far out do I want the eyeshadow to go. I love cat eyes, so I'm constantly doing that too. I've also gotten into like filling in my eyebrows. That's something that brings me joy. And the kids on TikTok are putting blush on their noses. So that's one thing that I started doing and discovering. And yeah, it's fun. It's it's a good time. I just suggest like going to a pharmacy and finding a palette that you are drawn to. Probably starting with like neutral colors, but start with whatever fucking colors you want. Like there was
Yeah.
one day that I dyed my hair orange. So it was the first time that I had used like orange makeup on my face because I wanted to see what that looked like if I had a lighter color and then just this bright, bright orange on my eye. And it just brought me so much euphoria because of the way that it matched my hair. Yeah. I don't know if that's helpful.
Hey, you answered the question.
Cool.
Yeah. Uh, I ask this question every week. What is your comfort food, comfort movie, comfort music?
Comfort food, comfort food. Oh goodness. Um, so I take a special Trader Joe's trip once a week. And there's always one thing that my partner and I have to get. And it's the frozen orange chicken. It is so good, kind of healthy. I don't know. But it is delicious. The flavor just, I love savory. And then I also just put sriracha all over it. So yeah, I think right now that's my comfort food of like the month.
Mhm.
Um, a general comfort food, I love Thai food so much. Patsy Ew, back me up. And then comfort movie, again, I have just been like watching Inside on repeat. And it I was upstate in the Catskills for a little while,
Mhm.
and I found myself like really isolating, really falling into the pits of depression, and not having community anywhere. Of course, there's like community online, but feeling especially isolated. And I was just going through so much at the time. And I know that that movie really touched a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. For me, um, it actually, I mean, I will give it credit. It's in part saved my life. Like that's a now that that's a big thing for me to say about a movie, but it really cut to the core of my depression, my anxiety, my PTSD, and all of these things that in isolation were just causing me to absolutely spiral. So then having this movie where I could take that journey, also having turned 30 during the pandemic, like, ugh, I just related to it in so many different ways that it has become like such a wonderful like piece for me. It's that one song, and I guess that counts as songs, right? Like, I don't really listen to music. I'm a terrible musical theater writer. But it is that one song where he's saying "All Eyes on Me," and he just says "Get the fuck up," and I'm like I felt that in my sternum and was like, okay, I'm gonna get out of bed today. Like it was that inspiring to me. So that is my current flavor movie of the pandemic. Yeah, song wise, again, I'm a terrible musical theater writer. I'm really, I don't really like actively listen to new artists.
Mhm.
I always take the recommendations from other people, and I feel like it's because, especially with my ADHD and my and hyper focusing, like when I find the song that just gets me, I will listen to it over and over and over again. And I mean, that has to do with my work too. Like, not that it needs to be perfect, but I will listen to it over and over and over again to make sure that I'm accomplishing what I set out to do with it. So once I find that song and once it envelops me, I will listen to it so much. I feel like right now I'm getting more into electronic music,
Okay.
especially
Cool.
since that's what I write. Like I should probably listen to more. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so, and I love asking this question on this show because questions that you don't get asked as an adult like anymore. What's your favorite color?
Lime green.
Olive green.
Yeah, lime green. Like I will not wear it, but I love that color so much. And when I was a kid, I wanted it all over my room. Didn't happen. But it's just, yeah, I love lime green.
All right. I feel like you have an answer for you don't know what the question is, but I'm just like favorite dinosaur.
Oh, hmm.
See, this is
Now
the
now I'm just thinking back to The Land Before Time. I'm like, which character did I identify with the most? And I'm like, Littlefoot, but I don't remember what that dinosaur is called.
It's a long neck.
Long necks.
Yeah. No, listen, everyone our age knows what you're talking about.
Yes, that tragic movie that scarred me as much as the Never-Ending Story did. Yes.
I am a grown-up Spike. That was his name, right?
Oh, Spike. I love Spike. Spike, Ducky, Littlefoot, the other one.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, she was
Here's the thing,
Triceratops. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That makes sense because for years I was like, why is it? And this isn't to say like people named Sarah have a basic name. Like that's not. I'm not saying that at all. All you Sarahs out there are great. But I was like, Littlefoot Sarah. It just
right.
It stuck out a little bit.
It's like, look at all these cool names. It's like Ducky, Petrie.
Yes, Petrie.
Oh.
Chomper. Oh. See, now I'm just thinking of the songs too. Like,
oh yeah. Oh.
Beyond the Mysterious Beyond.
Those movies were tragic. And it's just like I hope they stopped it too. I know they didn't, but I hope they did. They like certainly did not.
Oh.
Let's see. I have other. This is nobody likes when I ask this question, but we all have an answer. What's your favorite smell?
My favorite smell. Oh, so I feel like there's okay. So for me, two different types of smells. There's like the nostalgia smell, and then there's the like present smell. I don't know.
Yes.
the smell of the present. And if I'm thinking nostalgia wise, like the smell of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Love the smell of the ocean. Miss the smell of the ocean. Haven't been in the ocean since I had my top surgery. I need to go to the ocean. And also gasoline. Like as a kid, that smell from the car, it was like, toxic.
We are different people because that's one of the smells I'm just like, oh no. Yes, well, you heard it here, folks. We are different people. Listen, sometimes cis people get confused.
Yeah. It's true. They get confused about my pronouns, so.
So this interview is for you. It's about you, but having just brought that up, I had someone who for like the first couple years that I knew this person, it constantly mistook me for another trans woman comedian. And she is Asian. I'm just like, no. It's just like, I love this joke of yours. I'm just like, that is not mine. That is not mine.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like, I'm really sorry. Also, like, I'm not sorry. You should be apologizing. So thank you so much for talking with me today. I have one final question for you.
Yes.
And that is, who are some trans folks out there you think are doing good work? It can be in the arts, but it can be in general. You can't say me, not to assume that you would, but so that you don't have like an easy answer to that question.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's several. There are several. I immediately think of Ian Feld-Stewart, who is an incredible force.
Mm-hmm.
I also think of Maybe Burke, who I adore and also collaborate with once in a while, who is doing a lot of work with the Transgender Training Institute, which I also love. I also think of my friend Gray F. Jackson, who is also a wonderful musical theater writer, um, and one of my best friends in this world. But also, they work for this one company that has a lot to do with healthcare and
Mhm.
figuring out how to help support trans folks. So they're doing a lot of work in that arena too, and that makes me very happy. Um, yeah, there's so many people, and I'm very lucky to also call them my friends too. Um, like obviously the internet made has connected a lot of trans folks, and I've actually spent the past few weeks like meeting people in person finally who I've been friends with online forever.
Ah,
So it's yeah, there's a lot of good people out there, and there's a lot of good people doing the work, and I love watching it all.
yeah, awesome. So, I lied. One more question.
Yeah.
Where can people find you
Oh
on
my
the internet?
So I'm in a few places. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at Mika Kauffman. You can find me on TikTok also at Mika Kauffman. However, I'm currently banned. That's a whole thing. They're banning a lot of trans folks because of censorship. So oh no, I showed my chest and I got censored and then I got banned. That's a fight that I'm currently working on right now. Yeah, you heard it here. The clock app is transphobic. Um, and I have a website, so like mikakaufman.com.
It's in the comments
Yes.
of this video.
Yeah.
Well, Mika, thank you so much for talking to me today. This was a delight. And thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back next week. Our guest is Roman Ellis, an amazing trans mask stand-up comedian out of New Orleans, a wonderful human being, and I hope to see you all at that. But until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourselves,
Stay cool.
and bye, everybody. Mika, say goodbye.
Bye.